like stone bricks in Minecraft. But I didn't have to go through hell and back to get them. You don't really have to in the game. I'm bad at it. This is apparent by my Minecraft series. Got 2 of them. Just in case nobody knew, in case you wanted to know and you didn't know before. It's that if you don't know, now you know. Me and my brother played with Legos a lot as a kid. I didn't really do any of the building, but I was really good at role-playing as a child. In like the gaming sense, like everything I did had to have a story, which also makes sense for like my future livelihood and like the degree I'm currently doing. Like I spent my entire life making up random plot lines, so this checks out. This had to have happened. Does it go in front of? I think so. But we would do that with Legos too, and we had like pretty much every single one of the Lord of the Rings characters, so that was pretty easy to do. We had enough characters. We didn't have to really do a whole casting call, you know what I mean? And we had multiple of them because we had like every single set pretty much. We have the gates of Mordor. We have Helm's Deep. We had Shelob's Lair. We had Mines of Moria. And then we got like the Hobbit ones too. So we got oh my god, what's the little town? What's the one that Smaug first sets on fire, that everybody from Lake Town was there and then they had to flee? I don't remember the name of it, but we had that as a set. I remember because I was so heartbroken over Battle of the Five Armies that I made our Tariel and Kiwi Lego figures have a wedding in one of those buildings. So, and I recorded it. Me and my brother recorded it on our iPad mini that we shared. Are we surprised of where I am now in my life? I don't think so. I don't think anybody is like, how'd this happen? Let's see, do I have any other fun stories? Well, besides Legos, we had stuffed animals. We called it Stuffed Animal Kingdom. It was called Sack, and we even made a jingle for it. I forget what it is now, but we did make that. And we had villains, we had good guys, we had love interests, and we would have weekend-long games where the stuffed animals are all completely laid out, and we'd have entire battles, and it was some of the best years of my life. I'll be completely honest with you there, because like of course it was, and it would always end up being in my room. That's so crazy. I mean, I did have the bigger room, so it checks out, but still it's like, oh, let's play with our stuffed animals in Lily's room. Okay, sure. So, would you go down, man? And then we would also, oh my god, I had building forts down to like a science, because we would do that for the games. We'd build a fort, and that was like the kingdom. Because I had a really big, you know, like, was it Biscuit, that one dog that was like mechanical? The big, well, I renamed him Shadow because Homeward Bound was my favorite movie as a child. And you know what? I saw it on Disney Plus. I rewatched it and I was like, yeah, it still works. And I mean that so truthfully. But so I don't know, we would do what was I saying? What's going on? We would do the stuffed animal games for a long time. There was one time I even made a movie. With my stuffed animals, like, and then I had the script memorized. It was called The Flight to Save the World, and this dog had flight powers. It would have been animated if it was real. But he goes to pilot school. It was very similar to Monsters vs. Aliens. I'm gonna be completely honest with that. At least like the military guy who was like in charge of the group, he was the same person in my head. That was played by the same man. I love how I was casting as a child. Fan cast. But yeah, that's my story. Oh my god. Let's see. Oh, we also had Star Wars action figures. So we would also do whole storylines with the Star Wars action figures. And yes, I asked for Ahsoka for Christmas every single year, and I got her every single year. I also broke her a lot. She had really tiny limbs and they fell off real easy. But that's fine. She was okay. But yeah, I miss those times. I mean, that's like the whole point of growing up is like, and nostalgia exists for a reason, you know? But dang, it was so much fun. And I feel bad for like Gen Alpha or whatever. I don't think they're getting that same thing because they have iPads shoved in their face. I didn't have an electronic till I was in like 6th grade. Okay, like and even then we had to ask before we downloaded any game. We weren't allowed to watch any YouTubers who swore, and we couldn't play any video games on a school night. Like, so I had no choice but to be like, this animal is sentient and I'm gonna play with it. And look at me now. Clearly, I'm doing great. Did I look insane? I've got my window. I just look down and if I hear somebody. But yeah, that's a message to all of you. Let your kids play with toys, physical things in their hands. Let them build an imagination before you hand them an iPad. Okay? I was always quiet at restaurants or like in public, wherever I needed to be, because I would just make up random shit. One time I held an eraser and gave it a backstory and started like, because that's just what you gotta do. And you know what? I'm proud of it. I didn't say, I'm bored. I think I was probably waiting for my mom to like get a haircut or something. And I was like, I have an eraser and a pen in my pocket. These are my toys now. I don't know, man. Just live a little. And then other than that, we didn't really have other stuff that we played with, except for like, we would watch the Clone Wars, and then during commercial breaks, we would have lightsaber fights. And then we would do the same thing for Avatar, and we would each have like our abilities that we decided on, and we'd be in a war. Sometimes we'd mix the two. We'd have our lightsabers and have the Avatar powers. During the commercial breaks, we would be in the middle of a war sequence and then be like, oh, the show's back on. We're sat on the couch. So, and you know what? That was a beautiful existence. That was everything. But that was kind of all we did together. I had Barbies, but I wasn't as interested in them as everything else, so I feel like that was like a really random spout of information, but it had a point. I was talking about Legos first. That was the jumping off point. You will see me in the next one. I don't know what you look like.